All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on my deck. I actually redid the surface of the deck a couple weeks ago, and while I was in the process of doing that, and I actually started putting the handrails up, I had a company reach out to me about doing a cable hand railing system on a project, and I told them, I was like, yeah, that'd be great. I'm actually in the middle of doing my deck, so we got together and figured out what materials we needed. They sent me all the product I needed to do it, and today we're going to go ahead and install that stuff. So I'll do a quick I'll show you all the materials that they sent, and kind of get a little quick overview of all the parts and pieces I got here that we're going to install today, and then we'll get installing this stuff. Oh, and the company is, I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right, Blika cable railings. They have I'll show you, I'll put a link to their stuff in the description, and I'll show you, put some like screenshots of their product page and stuff, and website. But here's the materials I got. So I have these aluminum posts. They're 36 inches. They have adjustable tops on them. I've got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of those. I got one skinny one. This one's for it's going to be for this span here, that because it's more than the recommended distance between post and post. So this one will just be to help support the cables. These ones, if you notice, they're the same as those other ones. They have the adjustable tops on them, but they have elongated slots in them. Those are for the ones going down the steps. And these are the base covers. Oops. And they go over the bottom to cover the bolt holes. So those will cover the bolt holes. Here's the hardware that they send to anchor it. So if you were doing it in concrete, they send you 4 wedge style anchors. I left all this stuff sitting in the sun, so it's all hot now. They've got 4 lag bolts, the screws to go through the top of the bracket into the posts. They also have, so they come with the flat ones on them, but they also have these ones that are rounded for if you want to do a if you want to do a round rail, like a tube rail instead of a square. You could do a square metal post or a round. You could do a square metal rail or a round metal rail, kind of like they have pictured here. But I'm going to do a wooden one, so I'm using the flat tops. But here's all the round ones that they give you with each post. So in the box for one post, you get this post instructions, one of these, one hardware kit, and one bag. Oh, not these ones. One bag of rubber grommets that go in each of the holes. I'll show you those. I have 2 different types of grommets here. We have the straight ones. You can see that. That's just for the straight posts. Then we have these angled ones for the for those posts, for the elongated holes, for the rails going, or for the cable going down the steps on an angle. Here's the cover for this post, which I've got to take the top back off and put that on. All right, so this is the hardware we're using. It's their hidden invisible hardware. It's got an Allen slot in the back of it. So you would put this, let's grab a post. I don't know what y'all can see. You would put this through the post. Obviously I can't do it without, it would go through the post. You would crimp your cable on this end, then put this through and thread them together. like this, and then it'll tighten up the and tension the cable. These are a little more expensive getting these that kind of hardware, but I think it should look really nice. And then these, it's hard to see, that angled washer is also for these posts. It's for these posts for the brackets going uphill and downhill for the so that hardware can go like this. So that hardware, that's hard to see with my fingers there, but so the hardware, when it tightens up, it's not trying to twist in the post. So I got a bag of those, 4 bags of the hardware, so that's 40 of the adjuster or the invisible pieces. And then we have 2 rolls of black 1/8" cable. And then this is stuff I had from a cable rail project I did inside the garage. This is a hydraulic crimper. I'm standing in the shadow, putting shadow on. The hydraulic crimper for crimping on. I'm using the number 6 die, which is the number 6 die according to the paperwork and that from the crimper and on their website is good for the 1/8" cables. And then I have a cable cutter. Again, this is from my last project I did, but they sell the same products on their website. There was no point in sending more when I already had a set. So yeah, that's the quick overview of all the product. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting the posts in place. I might just put one single screw in them for now, just to hold them in place and double check all my measurements and see, because they have so because I'm going into a wood deck and I'm using the lag, they gave these lag bolts. They have kind of a long shank on them, and some of mine, where I'm going to be putting my posts won't be going through a double layer. Oh, that's why I waited till later today for this shadow on the deck. Try that again. So where some of mine are going, most of these aren't going to have a double layer of wood there. So I may go to the store and buy some lag bolts with no shank, smooth shank on them, where it's full threads, and shorter, because I'm going through a single layer of wood. But I might, once I lay these posts out, I might put another block underneath the deck boards, and that way it's got a double layer to go into, and then I'll just use this hardware. So I'm going to lay the posts out to kind of figure out where they're exactly going to sit, and then I'll decide what hardware I'm going to use and go from there. So I will come back to you in a few minutes when I have all the posts in place. All right, so y'all probably saw in the time lapse, I mounted the 2 or 4 corner posts, and that way I could, well, really I wanted to get these outside corner ones done, these ones, so that way once those were locked in, I put them 2 inches in from the corners, So I got that, you know, these ones locked in, and I did this one too since I was right there. And then I put a string line. It's hard, you probably can't see it. I put a string line from one post to the post down there because you can see I didn't cut my boards very straight. I'm gonna put a piece of trim on all that to cover it up when I'm done. But so I drilled the holes. I marked them and drilled the holes. And I'm gonna put, instead of using the lag bolts, which would probably work just fine, but because, like I said earlier, I'm not going into 2 layers of wood. These lag bolts they provided are have a shank on them, so I'd run out of threads before it got tight. So what I'm going to do, or what I did, was I ran to Home Depot and I bought these 2-inch carriage bolts. I don't know if y'all can see those. I really wish I could have gotten like 2 1/4 inch. Would have been perfect. Or I don't know, I think 2 1/2 would have been too tall for the trim cover, but 2 1/4 would have been perfect. But, and I thought about getting 2 1/2s and cutting them down, but I didn't want to fight all that. And I bought these 3/8 by 16 nylock nuts for them. So there's the 4 corner posts. You can see, you know, I went ahead and they're tight now, but I tightened the post up, but they're not perfectly level. What I'm gonna do is I bought a bunch of washers, and I was gonna put washers on top, you know, the post, a washer, and then the nut. But like I said, the 2 inches are just a touch too short. They're just long enough for the nylock to catch, but not long enough for a washer to be under it also, which may be a problem when I do some of these other ones and put washers on them to level the post up. But now that I've tightened the post up, or tightened the bolt up and pulled it into the wood some, I've got a little bit more length on them. So when I get to that, when I get all the posts mounted, I'll go back through with a level and a pack of washers, and you know, I'll loosen the nuts up, take the nuts off, and loosen the post up, and slip a washer underneath here and there to level the post out. Most of them are going to be fairly close, but there's a couple of them, just because of the old deck framing's a little twisted or whatever, that they're not going to sit perfect. So I'll get them leveled up as best I can, and but I'm gonna put you back on time lapse. I'm going to go underneath the deck and put all these carriage bolts up through the holes, and come back up here and start putting them back, or bolting them together. So put you on time lapse so you can see that, and we'll keep going. All right, just a quick update. I'm done with the handrails. Well, for now, I still need to route some edges and sand some spots, and I don't know. I might actually replace the whole handrails later on, but here they are. Did the 2x6 treated. Yeah, it worked out. It's not perfect. You can kind of see the going down the steps. So anyway, those are done for now, done enough for now. It's Mother's Day, so I'm gonna go get cleaned up and take my wife out to dinner, and then maybe one or two nights this week, I'll if the weather permits, I'll start doing these cables, and I'll show you all that. So far I'm happy. There's a few things that I wish I would have done better on the deck itself to better prepare for this. You know, y'all saw me do the carriage bolts in some of them, but the ones that I did put the lag bolts in, I feel like are probably a stronger connection. So if you took the time to put some extra blocking in where all your posts are going to be, it would definitely be, you know, underneath, it would definitely be a better connection. And if I was going to do the 2x6 handrail again, you know, with these posts, I would probably get the ones with the welded tops on them, like what this has, where it's got the flange on it, instead of the adjustable angle piece. You know, that would be really great if I did the metal there, you know, the metal post, or not post, if I did the metal rails that they supplied, or could supply, or the wooden ones that they have, because they're narrower. But I think because of these 2x6s are so wide, it just doesn't give you, in my opinion, immediate enough connection. But everything's nice and tight. You know, once I get every rail connected to each other, everything, I mean, it wiggles a little bit, but it's not bad, not enough to worry about. No more than my old wooden ones that were here before I did the resurface of this deck. So yeah, anyway, I'll catch back up with y'all hopefully tomorrow if the weather's good, and we'll do these cables. I know it seems like, you know, I worked on this for 2 days, but it was really maybe 5 or 6 hours combined between the 2 days, and part of that was me fixing some stuff, or finishing some stuff up that I need to do on the deck anyway. So while we're running around, you know, I stopped a couple times and ran out to the store to get different hardware that I thought might work better and stuff. So I really don't have a whole lot of time in this so far, but I'll give you an update on the end, how long this whole thing took me. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, guys, welcome back. The weather's been kind of crappy the last little bit. I think we got a break in it today, and I'm going to try to get started on putting these cables through. I don't remember what I showed y'all before, but so there's the rails up. I got the first roll of cable there, and one of the fasteners there. I'm getting ready to get the crimp out and stuff, and get started feeding the first cable through. There's the rails. Don't mind the mess in the backyard. Got the one little thin post, and then the rails going down. I still gotta, I'm gonna take a router and route these edges, clean that stuff up, and same thing at the bottom there. I'll probably do something with these corners and stuff. I don't know. I might eventually redo the actual top rails anyway, but for now they'll work. So I'm gonna put y'all on time lapse and get the first cable or two laid out, and once I get the process kind of dialed in a little bit, I will stop and show you exactly how to do it. But I want to take a minute to refresh myself and figure out exactly what I need to do myself before I go trying to explain what to do. So I'm gonna put y'all on time lapse, get a few of these cables run, maybe loosely, and then I'll come back and we'll figure it out together. All right, so the first thing I've already learned, and I guess I'm gonna do things a little bit opposite of what I thought I was gonna do. I thought I was going to pull from this side, and which I'm still gonna do, and then I was gonna put the fastener on this side first, you know, put this on this end and have that be my dead end, and then tighten the steps, the end by the steps first, or tighten that side as the side I tighten up. But I got thinking about it. Really, I should pull the cable through from this way, you know, pull it around this way, and then crimp it over by the steps, and then cut this side at the, you know, the real side of it, and then put the crimp on this side and tension it that way. So I'm going to I'm going to do two other things real quick before I set it back up on time lapse, but I just wanted to mention that I'm going to fix a couple things, something else I just saw on the handrail itself, and then we'll get back to it. All right, well, my AC is off. I will show you what I'm doing on this end. Pull a little extra through, put the end on there, and then slide in the crimp tool. Let's see, I'll hold it. So I've got it close to the end, not at the end, but very close to the end. Y'all see that? Yeah. Got it close to the end. And then I'll come over here and crimp it until the hydraulic doesn't want to move anymore. I'll back off just a little bit. And I'll move over. I'll let it open up more than I planned on. Let it open back up a little bit. Move over next to the crimp. Do a second crimp. Let it release. Set that aside. Take this end off. And we'll pull it back through. We'll stick the end grommet on, because this is thicker than the cable, so it'll be harder to put in later. We'll pop it through the grommet. And on the first cable I did, I tightened it up all the way and then cut that side and used that side as the only adjustment. This one I'm going to thread it on halfway to give myself a little bit more cable tension later. And then we're good there. So the next thing we're going to do, let me get you all off of here. The next thing I'm going to do, these corner ones, because this post is on an angle and it's not really designed for, you know, it's doing a straight pull this way and then a 45 coming this way, or 22.5 coming this way. I'm not going to be able to just slip these grommets in afterwards on these ones. I'll show the grommet. Hold on, let me get this set up so I don't have to hold it. Let me show you this grommet real quick. Okay, so these are the grommets that are going in. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but it's split. See, they're split. So you can slip it over the cable. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. You can slip it over the cable once it's on there. But these corners, because they're tight, I'll show you one that you can actually see. So these corners, because they're tight like this and it's pulling on an angle, you're not going to be able to just slip the grommet in. So before I tighten the cable up on these, like I did on the last one, and had to loosen it back up, I'm going to go and put these inside ones in now, and then we'll come back to do all the grommets at the end, but these ones will be done. And I think to save time, I'm going to get all the cables cut and crimped, and I'm not going to tighten them up yet. I'm going to wait till the very end and just tighten them all at one time. Now that I know, I think I've got a good procedure going. I already got a piece of metal stuck in my finger. So I'm going to take you over to this other side. Well, I'm going to put the two grommets in that corner. Let me grab this crimp. I'm going to, my hands are getting all oily from this cable, but let me put these grommets in real fast, and then I'll come back and show you what I'm doing when I'm cutting the cable. Alright, now I'll show you what I'm doing with cutting this cable. So we'll pull all the slack back. Okay. I think y'all can see there. Yeah, there we go. So I pull all the slack back so it's tight. And I'm just holding it with my finger. And I'm going to cut it about a ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch past my finger. I think that's right from what I did on the last one. So that'll put us almost to the hole. So then we'll slip it inside of here. I may be telling you wrong. I don't know. We'll find out in just a second. Let's go ahead and get this one crimped and see if I messed up or if I did this run right. The other one I think is just a touch too loose still. I got that tight enough where it's holding itself. Back it off a little, move it over. Let's see if we can get this one started. Oh, put the ground on there. So yeah, that should be. Yep, perfect. So they're both half on it. Probably gonna be good. So I'd say pull it tight, mark the cable, or cut the cable probably 5/8 to an inch longer than the post, and that should work perfect. This one may be a little tighter than the first, or a little too tight, and the first one was a little too loose. So I think this next one is going to be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and feed this cable through, cut it, crimp that far end, and then I'm going to come back and just keep doing these. I'll put you on time lapse where you're. I wish there was a way I could show you both sides of the deck at the same time with time lapse, but I can't. So I'll just show you what I can, and when I come back to tightening everything, I will talk to you then. All the cables are done on the top main deck. All I have to do is tighten them up and put the rest of the grommets in. I put the ones in on the corners, like I said I was going to do first, on those inside 22.5 degrees or 45s, whatever. I don't know what that angle is, I forget now, but just so I don't have to fight those ones once the cable's tight. So here's a quick look at what we got. Like I said, I got to put the grommets in and tighten them up. And I used to do this top, I used one whole roll. Well, this little bit was about 8 or 9 foot short of doing the very last one, so I had to start the second roll to do that last one. The stairs are only 16 foot long, or no, might not even be that long. So when I do those ones, I'll probably still have half a roll left over when I'm done. So anyway, I'm going to tighten these up real quick. And one thing I will say that's much better about this kit, this product from Blika, than the cheap Amazon stuff that I used before in the interior of my garage. These crimps, you know, these are they're invisible connections, so you know, this is all you see at the end is this Allen head. There's an Allen inside of here to tighten it up. You have this on the back side, and then this, where in the garage, of course, I use a different type of hardware for the wood posts that were there, that had the they're like lag bolts that you had to screw in. One, those are a real pain in the butt to tighten up, but two, when you crimp this piece of it is still the same design from this product to the Blika to the Amazon stuff that I use. but these ones way stronger. You know, I double crimped them, even though it doesn't say you need to. And I did the same thing on other stuff. But the other ones, they were bending really bad. Like they had like big bows in them after crimping them, where these ones stayed perfectly straight. Like they're a much nicer quality product. You know, and the price might, you know, well, of course, because this is the invisible hardware, but they're crimp style hardware that has the lags on it. Compared to the Amazon ones that I'd gotten before, might be pennies different. I have to redo, well, I don't have to. I kind of want to redo the handrails on my dad's, and my dad, you know, I keep getting in that shadow. At my dad's house, he has just like a little landing with like 4 steps or 5 steps coming down off of it that it's been there for, I don't know, 30 years. Or yeah, probably about 30 years. My brother's gonna try to buy his house from us. If he does, I might order a set of their lag style anchors, like I was talking about, like I used in the garage, and try those ones out, just to say that in fact those are a better product than those Amazon ones, and you know, for pennies difference, if that. They might be even the same price. So definitely worth getting a nicer product, actual name brand. You know, like this, these Blika ones, they're everything I've used from them so far has been you know, great. The post, the trim hard, you know, the hardware and everything's been great. The cable seems real nice, you know, pulling it through. When I'm pulling that cable through back here, having it on the rolls and stuff, pulling it through, you can hear it dragging the whole time. And there's not a mark on it. The black is still, you know, the black cable is still black. It's not like it was scraping the coating off or anything. So I'm very happy with everything so far. I'm gonna go ahead and get these tightened up. My battery's about to die, so I'm gonna tighten these up, and then I'll get a fresh battery and we'll start going down the stairs, and I'll show you the hardware for that. It's still gonna use these, but we're gonna use some offset washers or angled washers to start and stop those, and some different style grommets, but pretty much the same procedure. So we'll go ahead and I'm gonna get these tightened up real fast. It'll only take you know, 2 or 3 minutes to tighten them up. Well, actually, I'll show you what I'm doing. So let's see, I think I already tightened these first couple. So, oh shoot, that brick's rough. So I think I tightened this one already. No, I'm not gonna be able to do it and hold this. Sorry, I'm trying to hold this camera with my teeth. That one's tight. Oh, dropped it. That one's tight. And see, they only have about an inch, or not even, sorry. They only have about inch to 3/4 of an inch, something sticking out. Anyway, I'm gonna set the camera down, tighten this side up, and then I'm gonna go back and tighten the other side up, and go through and put all these grommets in on this upstairs, and then I'll start doing the railing going down. All right, well, I've been working on the steps, the rail, or the cables for the steps. You know, I've been out in the sun for a while, so I guess I was getting anxious to get it done, or excited to get things done. And it was getting hot. The sun's direct sun. So I cut the first cable too short. I crimped it. What I thought was going to be enough to catch the threads. By the time I put the spacer in there, that angled spacer, I was like 1/8 to a 1/4 inch too short on catching the threads. And if I take the spacer out, I can just catch the threads, but it, you know, I could put it in there for looks, but it's not right. So I'm gonna have to contact Blika and see if I can buy 2 more crimps just so I can redo that one cable. I wish I'd asked for some extras, you know, because I got exactly what I needed. So I'm gonna be 1 cable short of finishing this thing. But lesson learned. The extra that I was doing for the straight rails, you need to do almost an extra inch or more on these angled ones. It uses up, it just because of the way it goes in the post, it uses up a lot more of that that length. So I got 3 of them done now, and I'm gonna keep going with doing them. I'm gonna set the camera back up on time lapse down on the ground or something, so you can see me going up and down the steps doing these. The sun's hot, so I'm gonna get this done, and I'll show you what it looks like all finished. Yeah, I'll show you when I crimp one of them. I'll show you what I was talking about on having the longer length, cutting it longer. But then I'll just put everything back on time lapse again. Alright guys, I'm all done with the cable rails now. I'm going to clean up a little bit. I'll do a quick walk around and show you. I'm going to put some trim around this bottom edge of or not bottom edge, but around the band board and stuff for that deck, and just to finish it off, make it look a little nicer. And I might paint the red. I might get a solid stain that's I don't know, that matches kind of the raw natural wood or the sun bleached wood, just to kind of make it all blend together a little bit more so the red doesn't stain out like a sore thumb, especially on the stairs. It looks terrible on the stairs. But if I have time to do all that and get this video turned into Blika in time, I will do that. If not, I'll get everything cleaned up around the deck and everything, and I'll find a walk around and show everybody, show you what everything looks like, so I can show that their product, how their product looks. Very happy with it. Yeah, I'm happy with everything. So like I said, the cables for the stairs, make sure you cut those the right length. Those ones definitely need to be longer than what you do for the level rail, the main rails of the deck. But here's, don't mind the mess under there. It's all the leftover stuff from the deck underneath, and chairs and stuff that need to go back up. But I think it looks pretty nice. Way better than it used to. And now that the clouds are coming back out, I've been working on it the whole time in the bright sun. Now that I'm trying to do this, the clouds are starting to come back out. So I'm not sure what exactly y'all can see up there and can't. I think with that sun behind it, y'all probably can't see anything. But yeah, I'll go back up and get a video from upstairs, and like I said, I'll get all this stuff, because I started doing wooden rails or wooden pickets and stuff before they reached out to me about doing this, and So now I gotta, I don't know, I'll probably just throw those ones away at this point. I'm not gonna try to save them for anything. The chunks of 4x4s, I'll use those for something, project in the garage and some of this other stuff. And I got a pile of treated lumber over there that I was going to use on this that I'm not now, so I'll use that on another project for something else. But anyway, here's those, and here's those angled pieces, and you can see the cables going up. Like I said, I still gotta take a router to all this stuff. I got some other stuff I'd probably do to doctor this deck up a little bit. Cause I wasn't like, I'm gonna take a router to this stuff. Man, the bees and everything are out like crazy right now. But here it is. And again, very happy with it. I highly recommend their product. In the sun, I keep trying to talk to y'all in the shadows. Yeah, I definitely recommend using their product. It worked out real nice. This cable railing system with the poles and everything was very easy to do. Way easier than those lag style ones. I know they're cheaper, but you know, these pre-drilled posts and the invisible anchors, definitely the way to go. If you were going to do the wooden post, they have a hardware, I forget what they call it, I'll have to look it up. I'll put a screenshot of it in here, but they have a hardware that I forgot about after I was thinking about it earlier, that is passes through the post, and it's kind of like this invisible hardware, but for wooden posts. I think it has a nut on the back of it or something like that. I can't remember now. It's been a couple weeks since I looked at it. That's probably what I'd like to try on my dad's handrails. That way, you know, I want to kind of show you all the rails while I'm talking, but anyway, that's I'd like to try those out. I'd like to try those out just to see if that's just as easy as this, because if so, I'd never use those lags again, the lag style ones. If using that other style is as convenient and easy as using these invisible hardware, I would definitely use those. It's definitely worth spending a little extra. The time I spent tightening those lags and how tired my arms were, well, let's just say if I would have started all these cables with lags and it was wooden post, just for this top deck, and the time it took me to tighten them all up with this invisible hardware and then run the whole stair deck or stair cables, I still would have been tightening those lags up, because they're very fiddly. You only can do like a quarter turn at a time before you got to keep switching, flipping the wrench over, and you got to run them in, you know, an inch or more on each side, and it takes forever, and it wears your arms out, wears your fingers out. And this hardware is way better. So anyway, that's enough rambling. I'm gonna get everything cleaned up, put some of this deck furniture back up here, and hopefully I'll get time in the next couple days to get everything cleaned up underneath and get a good after shot. I'd like to be able to get some paint for that other stuff just so it doesn't look weird with the red before I end this video. But anyway, if I don't, I think it looks good. I definitely would use them, and I really appreciate Blika for working with me on doing this. I hope they're as happy as I am.